In my opinion, Yukong is the worst character in all of Honkai Star Rail. But let me tell you why. Harmony is probably the best path in the entire game. You've got tons of amazing Harmony characters, 4 stars and 5 stars, lots of free-to-play options that are absolutely stupendous for clearing all different types of forms of content and being fit onto any type of team. Yukong is not one of those options. You see, whereas Ron Mei has a skill that lasts for 3 turns that gives an attack buff, weakness break efficiency, and an ult that gives people all type res pen, whatever that means. Sparkle is 50% action forwarding characters and also breaking the skill point limit and replenishing skill points with her ultimate and giving an attack buff. Bronya is 100% action forwarding characters and giving them a huge crit damage multiplier buff. And Ting Yun is giving, what does she do? Like a lot of energy, and she gives a pretty sizable attack buff based on her attack. Yukong, she's trying her best. You see, while a lot of Harmony skills in Star Rail last for 3 turns or 2 turns, Yukong's skill lasts for 2 actions. And when I mean actions, I want you to note the difference between action and turn. Turn means like an entire cycle of like all of your units moving at least one time. Action is one action, like one time you use a character, meaning Yukong uses her skill, she like shoots the arrow in the air or whatever, and then one character moves, and then your second character moves, and the buff is gone. That's it. Meaning you have to speed tune Yukong extremely specifically to ensure that your DPS actually gets the buff. For me personally, when I was using Yukong, when I first made my account, because who else was I really gonna use at that point? Clara, she wants to be a little bit slower than other units. She doesn't really want a lot of speed because Clara wants to get hit. So Clara just wasn't really able to make use of the buff because she was always going last. So I would skill with Yukong, and then my healer would go, and my other support would go, and then Clara would go, and she would get no attack buff. Her major traces aren't really anything to write home about either. Her first major trace, Archerian, lets her resist, what does it say? Yukong can resist 1 debuff application 1 time. This effect can be triggered again in 2 turns. Bro, with the way content is now, especially it becoming a lot more dot focused, taking off 1 debuff every 2 turns is not gonna cut it, man. Her second major trace, Bowmaster, provides 12% imaginary damage to all people on your team. On paper, that sounds like a pretty sizable, decent buff, but in practice, it's pretty much worthless. You see, there are 2 imaginary DPS in the game. I don't know if people really count Welt as like a DPS. To me, he seems more as like a sustainer or like a sub DPS, but like, I guess you could count him. But real talk, there's only 2 imaginary DPS in the game, and that's Donghung IO and Dark Ratio. And while you could run them with Yukong, you could just run Sparkle with Donghung IO since she's so skill point heavy, or you could just run Robin with Dark Ratio because she's way better at enabling follow-up attack teams. Real talk, Yukong has 2 great benefits. The first is that she's free. You get a free copy of her just by playing the game. You also get a free Ting Yun, but at least you get Yukong for free. Her second redeemable quality is that her technique is actually like pretty cool. She starts glowing blue or something like that, and she can like run around really fast. And if you're traversing in the map in the early game where you don't have a lot of the teleport waypoints made, you can like move around pretty quickly and run past enemies, and it's pretty helpful for getting around pretty quickly. But other than that, that's where all of her redeemable qualities end right there. Like, even on a free-to-play account, I would just say to use Ting Yun in just about every other situation. And even with her Bowmaster trace giving 12% imaginary damage to other imaginary units, you could just use the Penacony set and give a 10% buff on any character with a matching DPS. It's not even like something special that she has. They literally made it a relic set like a couple patches later. Her last major trace, called Majestus, gives her 2 additional energy when Roaring Bowstrings is active and a unit takes an action, right? Now that sounds pretty cool, right? She has a 120 energy cost, which is pretty low, which is good because her ultimate is like pretty important to her kit, because when she uses her ult, when Roaring Bowstrings is active, it gives like a crit rate and a crit damage buff to the entire team or something like that, which is pretty good. So regenerating some additional energy every time your buff is active is pretty good, right? But when you think about it, she only is gaining 2 energy when the buff is up, and it doesn't include her turn. So she uses the skill, 1 unit goes, your second unit goes, and then the skill is over with, and she gains a total of 4 energy. Bro, 4 energy? That's what you gave for a major trace? Look at this raw main major trace. Like, let's be for real right now, man. And if Yukong is your favorite character, I'm not trying to knock her like that. She seems pretty cool. I liked her little companion story quest with her daughter. It was dope. But in my opinion, she is the most lackluster Harmony unit in the game and really has no place on any team. If you want something for Dr. Ratio, you go with Robin. If you want something with Dr. IL, you go with Sparkle. If you want something with Jingliu, you go with Bronya. Like, there's just so many better options for you to put your DPS with besides Yukong. But anyways, that's why I think Yukong sucks. So if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But I mean, I just think she's trash, but you can argue for her if you want. I don't really care. I just think she's trash. Thank you guys so much for the love in all the videos. The support has been greatly appreciated. Sorry I've been gone for a little bit, but I got something to show you guys. We got that degree, baby. Bachelor of Arts in History from Morehouse College. So now that I'm all done with that, there'll be more YouTube videos, skits, and talking videos like these for the summer in the future to come now that I'm all graduated. Thank you guys so much for the love and have a wonderful day. Peace.